Today we're going to talk about the main diesel engine. Today we're on a small subchapter I vessel, 480 gross tons, and we have a smaller Caterpillar main engine installation. The basic hazards and safety precautions that you're going to need to take are the ones that require general PPE, but also be aware with main diesel engines they could be very hot if they were just shut down, or if you are inspecting them while they're running, you need to be on guard for the rotating machinery and ensure that all the guards and personal protection's in place. Okay, we have to inspect the overall condition and the installation and the arrangement of all the engine components. So as you do this, a general walk around the engine, looking at all the attached components to see anything that may be obvious. We also are going to make note of the engine mountings. You can see how the skid is mounted onto the keelson here. I see all the associated piping with the coolers. I also see that I don't see evidence of any fuel leaks or lube oil leaks on top of the engine, which would be especially dangerous. Overall, you can see that the components are in good order and that the lagging and the exhaust system is well protected. Okay, now we have to verify the proper operation of all the required gauges on a main diesel engine. Nowadays, some of these new control systems have electronic displays that are going to display all the required information as well as feed that data to the bridge for display up there. When you have traditional gauges, you need to make sure that they are reading properly, that the face of the gauge and the liquid inside are still in good shape. As an example, I have a gauge right here that's supposed to indicate pressure. You're going to look for cracked glass, make sure the liquid is still clear that you can see through it, and generally just check for the material condition of the gauges. We also need to verify the means of shutting down the main engines in an emergency situation. On these modern engines, the electronic control module, the ECM, takes all of the shutdowns and makes the shutdowns happen. You can see a red mushroom switch here locally, and as well you have to have a remote main engine shutdown at every operating station. This vessel happens to have 2 operating stations on the bridge, as they can drive either ahead or astern as they are doing cargo deck operations. Let's talk about operationally testing the main engine. Most Coast Guard inspections are going to involve getting underway and putting the main diesel engine under load. That's the best time to check for fuel and oil leaks. Also, we may need to test some of the alarms and shutdowns of the engine once we're back at the dock. Main engines, we could do an overspeed test of an engine, say, maybe once a year at COI. We could also do low lube oil alarms and or low lube oil shutdowns, high jacket water temperature alarms, as well as any other propulsion tests that may be part of periodic test procedures. Okay, to summarize main diesel engine inspections, we talked about the hazards involved with inspecting them. We talked about the general condition of the engine, including its engine mounts and the equipment installed on it. We want to verify the proper operation of the gauges and or electronics that go with the engine. We talked about operationally testing the main engine. It's at this point I want to ensure that when testing the main engine's alarms and shutdowns that you follow the vessel representative's procedures that they use in-house. We always have to follow their lead. We talked about the means of shutting down the main engine and the remote locations. And should you have any further questions on main engines, please talk to the verifying officers at your unit.